Hey everyone, welcome to this week's tech tip. I am Kelly Heffley with Hivehouse Digital. Today we are going to go over how to import a contact list to HubSpot. So one of the biggest things when importing a contact list to HubSpot, you have to do some work on the front end to make sure that the data you're importing matches the database you've set up in HubSpot. This is one of the most important things that we stress with our clients, because when you're working with a marketing automation platform like HubSpot and all the capabilities that are available within it, you really need to make sure your data is clean. On the screen, I've got two short examples. Both of these spreadsheets have the same data, but one is set up incorrectly for the import, while the other is a more accurate version. For example, one has a full name, while the other has the names broken out into first and last, as you can see here. One has some NAs put in, while the other has blanks in that section. One has some abbreviations for the states and full names, while the other just has abbreviations. The reason this is so important is because when you're deciding to target a specific audience, let's say only one's in Michigan, you're going to pull from this property right here. If some are listed as Michigan and some are listed as MI, then HubSpot doesn't know the difference and won't pull some of these. That leads to an inaccurate audience list, starting off your digital campaign already on the wrong foot. Now that we've gone over the importance of data integrity, let's import the accurate list. We're on our dashboard here in the test portal. You're going to click on Contacts, List. Then you'll click on Import. You can also go to Companies and Import. It takes you to the same area. Here it's going to ask if you are syncing data or importing. We're not going to talk about syncing just yet. Today we're going to click on Import. You could be importing a list from a previous CRM and you're now switching over to HubSpot. Or maybe you have a list from some prospects that have stopped by your booth at a trade show or conference, so you want to import them here to continue nurturing those leads. Now here, HubSpot is asking how many files we're importing. Depending on which tier of HubSpot you have, you may have access to deals. If you're going to be uploading a list from a previous CRM where you have contacts, companies, deals, and more, then you would click this one. If you're only uploading information about only contacts or only deals, then you'll click on one file. And again, here it's going to ask what kind of data we're uploading. Is it only contacts? Is it contacts and deals? For today's example, we're going to upload some contacts, so we will click on one object. In this case, it's asking what kind of data we're uploading. Today, we're only doing contacts, so I'm going to click that. If you're just getting started with HubSpot, you're probably going to be working with just contacts. All right, so we will click on Choose a File. Then I'm going to click the good example on my desktop. The next step is to map these field properties to the ones in HubSpot. So essentially, HubSpot looks at the data and automatically maps it to the properties it thinks you want to use. So you can see that it pulled in first name, last name, and email, state, and so on. You can see that these have been matched, aka HubSpot was able to map it to existing properties. Now, it did not recognize this one. This is an issue you're going to face regularly within HubSpot. If you do not have a property created already to match this data, you're going to have to create one. And we can go into creating properties a little bit later in the future. If you need to create a new property, you'll need to cancel this import, create the property, and then start this import again. If you want to move forward and do that later, just don't import this column, like so. Now, once we get to this screen, we recommend to our clients that vernacular within the platform is very important. How you name your import should be consistent, and you should try to create some kind of template of how things are uploaded. For example, it could be the date, maybe the name of the conference or CRM you're moving it over from. So I will put today's date. You can create a list from this import. This is definitely best practices so you can track where each contact has been imported from. And this checkbox, HubSpot is basically asking if these contacts have been given consent to being contacted. Now that will be imported. All the past imports show up here. we can see the new records that have been created, any records that have been updated, and an error count. If you have errors, you can click on it and HubSpot will show you exactly why that error was there. Sometimes it'll be because you don't have someone's name listed on a property, or there is an extra space somewhere, or so on. So that's how to import information and contacts to your CRM. I really want to stress that data integrity is of the utmost importance when uploading any data. And if you need any help with that, feel free to reach out to us.